Welcome back, everybody. I'm Beth Ritter-Guth, and this is our second hacking studio for this evening. And what we're going to do is a phishing campaign. And so let me start with the standard save my butt statement. Do not phish people without their written permission. Phishing is illegal. It is getting information through deceit. So for this activity, you're going to hack yourself and nobody else. If you want to hack someone else, you need their written permission to do so. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, phishing is a way to get information from people that you can't get by finding it online. So it's getting them to click on something, clickbait. You can do this with phones. You can do it with instant messenger. It's getting people to click on links that will give you some kind of information. And you can get all kinds of information. You can get location information. You can have them fill out a form with their private information. One of the best known or best used, ill-used tactics is to pretend that you're the IRS or the Social Security Administration. And that's a way that a lot of people get hacked. Because they think that the government's asking them for information, because the emails that are sent are very scary. And for people who don't know how to use the internet or aren't familiar with deceitful people, they get tricked. And those are two agencies that people often use to hack others. Just remember and be sure to tell everybody you know that the government will never send you an email asking you to fill out information. They will never send you threatening phone calls or text messages. If the government wants you, they always send a certified letter. So be sure to tell your friends and family that anything they get on the phone or an email message from agencies claiming to be the Social Security Administration or the IRS are probably 99.9999% of the time attempted hacks. Okay, so in order to combat phishing, you have to know how it works, and that's how we teach people how to be safe. But in order to teach them how to be safe, you have to kind of see the back end. You have to see behind the curtain to get information on how it's done. And so that's what we're going to do now, and this is that we engineer people. Okay, so very first thing you want to do is you want to, if you have not done so, is you want to install the VirtualBox. You want to install Kali Linux on a VirtualBox or use the Tor browser. I am not going to do that for now just because of the recording. But again, I teach this stuff, and so, you know, I'm on every list in the world. So I'm going to be using the top web to do this, but you should not use the top web. You should use the bottom web for this. All right, I have given you on the Padlet, and the link is below, the actual step-by-step for part A and part B. In this video, I'm going to go through both parts, but I wrote out the instructions for those of you who are visual learners. And all of the tools that you need to do this Hacking Studio are here. So the very first thing we want to do is we need to create a persona. And your persona should be something legitimate, right? Nobody is going to click on an email from Fluffy Bunny Slippers. So what you do is you go to Gmail. Okay, I have 1 million accounts. This is my Northampton account. I'm going to sign out of all my accounts. Now you would never be doing this on your work computer or your home computer. You would have a dedicated computer to do this work, so nothing should pop up here. It should all be blank. And you want to use another account because you're going to create an account. And it's for myself. And I want to make sure that I give it a legit name. It's popping up as my son for his for school, right? So you want to give it a legit name. Now, fun fact, more people will open up emails from women than they will from men. So even if you're a guy, you might want to consider using a female name. And you want to use a name that sounds legit, right? So Sue Smith sounds like you're a hacker, right? You want to use something that sounds legitimate. So I'm going to use Anita Kleppinger. I don't know anybody named Anita Kleppinger, but I'm going to use that name, all right? And then I'm going to create a username. So I'm going to try to go with Anita Kleppinger, see if I can get that. Then I'm going to give it a password. And, you know, you want to give it a strong password. Strong passwords are no known words in any language because those can be cracked. You want to use a combination of letters and numbers, nothing that can be read by any screen reader, and you want to have at least 13 strings. Let's see if Anita's Kleppinger is available. It is. I am not going to put a recovery email address, but I do have to give it a birthday. So I'm going to always go with 1980, January 1st, 1980. Not my birthday. Doesn't need to know my gender. And then I'm going to click next. Now, see, it wants a gender. So, okay, fine. I'd rather not say. All right, so here we agreed not to do bad things. Of course, we agreed to not do bad things. And you click agree. Now, if you're really phishing and you're not doing this for good purposes, they could get you on your violation of terms of service, okay? So, again, don't do illegal things. If you're doing a phishing campaign for a legitimate organization, for a legitimate purpose, and you're bonded and you've signed all the documents, this is a way that you can do it. Okay, so I'm agreeing. All right, so here I have my very own email, and from here on out, I am always Anita Kleppinger. This is always my address, right? And of course, I'm at Starbucks, right? I'm not, right? But I would be at Starbucks on public Wi-Fi. My IP address would link back to that Starbucks. All right, so I'm going to let this cook. I'm going to just hold on to this right here. And now I want to start my campaign. Very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a message in Pastebin. Pastebin is an anonymizer for text. It creates messages that are encrypted, and so I want to create a legitimate text here to hack my target. So I'm going to hack myself. I've done my social engineering. I've done my research about me. Okay, so I've done my research, and I know that I'm a professor. So I'm going to say, Dear Professor Ritter-Guth, if they're really clever, they know that my students call me Jedi Mistress. I am a student in your class, in your English class. Okay, all this is discoverable, so I'm not, you want to take the time to write legitimate emails because hopefully most people aren't clicking on things like you have an aunt that died in Ghana and left you $40 billion, right? That's not legit. So you want your phishing email to sound legit because that's how people click on things. They click on things that look legitimate, right? And one of the ways that we hack people is by making websites look the same as the legitimate site. So like IBM, right? But there'll be like a letter off, or there'll be, the graphics will all be the same. It'll look like IBM, but there's something in the website that isn't legit, right? If I want to hack the government and make it look like it's a government website, I'm going to put gov in the website, but it's not going to be .gov, right, at the end. It's going to be something else at the end, right? So you want to take the time to make your phishing email look legitimate. So I'm a student in your English class, and I have a question about my grades. Did you mix me up with another student? Thanks. Smiley face. Anita K. Right? So there's my message. Now I'm going to give this message a title, and I'm going to say it's just, class. Just going to give it, and I'm going to create a new paste. And now it's given me raw data that I can post, and it's also given me a link. So up here is my link. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste this into a note card. Oh. Right, so that's my paste bin. So I want to save that. Remember, always have your note cards handy so that you can copy and paste stuff. So now I have this. Now I want to go back. Oh, let me go to the right place. I want to go to IP Logger. And what this site does, oh, I'm missing a step, sorry. Go back. I want to go to Bitly. And the reason I want to go to bit.ly is because I want to shorten that link that I just had. And I want to do that because I want to confuse the consumer, right? People know, some people know what Pastebin is, and so I want to confuse them. So as many layers as I can add to confuse the consumer, the better. So I'm going to go to bit.ly, I'm going to paste my Pastebin link here, and that's going to shorten it. That gives me a bit.ly. Take this, copy it into my note card, and now I'm going to go to IP Logger, and I'm going to shorten it again. And you might think, well, why am I doing all these steps? Again, we want to confuse people. All right, this says you're not going to do bad things. Again, you're not doing bad things because you're doing this legitimately. And you're going to click next. And it's going to give you a lot of information. It gives you a new link that you want to stick into your email. It's going to give you, it tells you where it's going. And then it gives you this IP logger for information. You want to copy this, the one for statistics. You want to copy this and put it in your note card because this is where you're going to see somebody's IP address. And what I do is I label these. So this is the stats link. All right. This is my shortened bit link. Or my Pastebin rather. Okay, this is my initial message. Okay, so you have this. Now what you want to do is you want to take this link and you want to take this to bit.ly and you want to shorten this. Again, why? Because we want to create as many layers as possible. So copy this. You're going to stick this into we're going to call this the hot link because this is the link that we want our target to click on. Now, remember when we were in Gmail? So you're going to go to Gmail. Oops, not that Gmail. Go to your new Gmail. Where's my new Gmail? Oh. Okay. You want to go to your new Gmail and you want to create a message, right? So I'm going to send an email. I have to move this. You do not want to add anything to your LastPass if you have it, right? You want to go to, I'm going to go to email. I have to keep moving this camera around. It keeps getting in my way. I'm going to go to Gmail, and you're going to compose your first message. And this is where you want to hack yourself. You have to give it a second to cook. All right, I'm going to compose a message. All right, and I'm going to just hack myself. So I'm going to send this to my email at Northampton. You should put your email. Again, don't send emails to other people because you don't have authorization to hack them. But I want to give this a legit subject. Grade in English. And you're going to write the same message that you wrote before. So you could actually copy and paste it from Pastebin if you wanted to. Let's see if I have the Pastebin still up. Right? I'm going to take it from the raw data. But I'm going to add a sentence. Can you click here and see if this is correct? Or if I am missing something. Okay, now you don't want to paste in that bit.ly because the target might get suspicious. You want to hyperlink and add the link in. So I have to go back to my note card, get my hot link, and put the hot link in there and click OK. All right, and the reason we do that is because most people do not hover over top of links. They just click on them. They don't actually look to see what the hot link is to. And so that's how we trick people. We trick people because people don't take the time to see where this link is from. Now, in real life, I would never click on a link in here because first of all, I would know that I don't have a student named Anita K. So I'd be suspicious to begin with, but I would hover over top of this, and you can always click a link and then check to see what it is, and put it into you know, a cooker to see what the link actually is. So I would never click this, but I'm going to send this. All right. And now I'm going to go to my Northampton email. Which is taking forever to open. All right, so we'll see if it comes in. Okay, so there's my email from Anita Kleppinger. And it looks legit. Gmail, that's a common Gmail service. One of the reasons we don't use burner emails, although you can, and you know, if you were doing a true hacking campaign, you would maybe use a burner email. But Gmail's so well known. Gmail is so well known that people don't question it anymore. So I got this, and you know, I'm not paying attention, and I click here, and it takes me to that paste bin. And I might think, well, why am I looking at this? Doesn't matter why, right? Now, when I set up this paste bin, I could delete this message right after clicking. That was one of my choices in the paste bin, right? I could have clicked expire right after read, which would then get rid of it as soon as it read, so there'd be no tracing to it at all, right? You can do, this was unlisted, but you could make it public if you wanted to. I don't know, if you were leaking information, you would put that in the public, right? So you could have it burn after read, right? But now I have this, and I have this information, and what do? I go back to my note card, and I go to my stats link. Copy that, paste that in here. Oh, I went to the wrong place. Oh, crap. Where's my stats link? This is my stats link. Well, that was correct. I was missing a number. All right. So I'm going to paste this in. Now I can see the IP address of the person who clicked on the link. And I can figure out where this person is looking at this information. So I know, for example, because I've been doing this a long time, that Amazon is just a bot, right? And I know just by looking at it, even if it didn't tell me, that Ashburn is just a bot. So the IP address I want out of these three is this one right here. And I'm going to copy that and paste it into my note card. And from here, I can gather more information. I'm going to clean up my screen and be right back. All right, so now that you have that IP address, what are you going to do with it? Well, you're going to paste it into IP Tracker. And there's a lot of like clickbait stuff here. Don't click on any of this stuff, right? So that's Lehighton, Pennsylvania, which is near where I live in Palmerton. But if I scroll down, I'm going to get all kinds of information. And the thing I really want is the city Latin long. Don't get confused and do the continent or the country. You want the city Latin long. And I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to paste it into GPS coordinates. Right? I'm just going to make sure you take the negative out of here. Get rid of all the special characters. And I'm going to get the address. And that takes me to the DNL trail in Jim Thorpe, which again is not Palmerton. It's not where I live, but it's close to where I live. It gets it closer to me. So I can look up the address this way, right? I can look it up this way, but I want to copy this right here. And I'm going to stick that in Google Maps. And that will give me a location right in the middle of the woods. Now my guess is that's a tower. And I actually know that's a tower. It's not a guess because I have my address spoofed so that you can't get my exact address. So that's why it takes you to the closest pinging location from my internet. All right. So these are places where I can find more information. I can look around and see what's there. So it's narrowed down my person. So if I was at, a Starbucks, right, and I was in, some public place, it would ping right to it, right? So you have this information, you get that information, and then you want to maybe even drill down further, and you're going to go to a place called what 3 words. And you're going to type in, you're going to paste in the Latin long again. And what 3 words is it maps out the entire planet by square foot, because the way that Google works is that it can only map out known addresses. And so if something's in the middle of the ocean, there isn't a GPS address for it. What 3 words actually provides a GPS location for every square foot on Earth. So it's going to drill it down right to the actual location of that tower. If I were working with law enforcement, I would tell them this is where the tower is located. They're often in parks and things like that. So then I can get information from this agency, from this tower in an investigation, and I would have a search warrant for it, and I would get more information about this location. So you can drill down pretty far to near where somebody is. And so that's useful information. However, you can use social engineering. This was just something simple, but other things that you can do, or you can have people create a form in Anita's account. You can go here. You can create a simple form. They call it forms still. I'm not sure if they still call it forms. I'm pretty sure they do. Drive. You're going to go to Google Drive. You're going to create a new form, and you can have people just fill out surveys, Social Security protection survey. You want to make it sound legit. Have people put their name, their address, their Social Security number, and their bank account routing number. You can put anything in this form, right? If you were going to do things for bad. So you want to tell people never to fill out forms like that. You never want to give personal identifying information over the internet if you can help it, unless you're guaranteed that it is a secure site. All right, so this is your phishing campaign. Hopefully this taught you how to gather some information. IP addresses are used. They're not as accurate as they used to be because a lot of services have spoofing set into them now. A lot of phone companies, cell phone carriers do that now. So you can't get an exact location, but it does narrow down the search. And in law enforcement, that's what we want to do. We want to narrow down the search. So apparently the apocalypse is happening outside of my house. So I'm going to quit recording. And if you have any questions, you can post them below.